a chair, basically. There are beds and other things. You can also access your medical room here. If you use it, it will refill your energy as well as healing you if you've taken any damage to your health. However, without an oxygen tank and a vent, you cannot take your helmet off. So in order to refill your oxygen, you'd actually need to have an oxygen bottle. So, oh, there was actually two up there. How did I miss the second one? I must not have been paying attention. So this one should have been the one that we already found some uranium on. Is that correct? Yeah, so a touch of uranium there. Let's go ahead and check this one as well. If this one's got a little bit, then that would be excellent. There's some magnesium, though. Magnesium is very important. You need that for weapons, as well as there is a magnesium fuel cell. So if I had enough of the other resources and enough magnesium, I could turn that into a fuel source. So that is definitely an option. So let's go ahead and go out to this furthest rock here, and we'll see what we can find. That might be uranium. It looks like it. Yes, we have uranium. We also have silicon. Okay, we need that to make glass, and I think we're going to need that for computers, basically circuit boards, more iron. I still haven't seen any nickel yet. If we could find some nickel, that would be excellent. Nickel is very important along with cobalt for making motors. This rock over here, still iron. What was that? Helium. Okay. So there's helium in here, which is used in some more silicon. Helium is used for, oh man, I can't remember what helium is used for. It's used in one of the mods that we have, and like I said, we've got 70 plus mods here. So we've got some more ice, some iron. This is looking great. There's only one thing we're missing. Well, no, that's not true. I spoke too soon. So far, we're missing gold, we're missing silver, and we're missing nickel. So, we've checked out these two here. There's one more to check out. And I can already see what looks to be some tungsten and some helium, and I think this is nickel over here. Helium, iron, nope. Ice, helium, there's the tungsten. More ice. Oof. Man, if only we had some nickel. Nickel, gold, and silver are the things that we're missing. I think we've got enough stuff here that we can make most of what we need in order to get a nice ship for going out and finding additional resources. Excuse me while I drink there. So at this point, the first thing we're going to want to do is start working on one of these smaller asteroids. And this one over here has the uranium. It looks like much more uranium than the other one had. It's also got iron, which is good, and the silicon that we're going to be needing. Did this one also have uranium? I want to pick which one we're going to go to first. Helium, ice, silicon, helium. No, okay. Magnesium was the other thing I was thinking, but we're okay. I think there's going to be enough uranium there. So we're going to go out to that furthest rock to get started. So I'm going to show you what I do, and it seems like each time I play, I change my method a little bit, try to refine it so that things work a little bit better, but in the end it all comes down to the same main core method. Let's go ahead and get in here. So the one we want, we're going to go out to that rock right there. And let's turn off our dampeners and give it a little push here. And I'm going to kind of rotate. Okay, looks like the uranium's on this side, so we're going to want to go this way here. And I'm going to show you the way the game is kind of set up to start. So I've got my dampeners on here so I can really control exactly what I'm doing. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually roll the ship. And you'll see that I'm darkening that area where the uranium was. And that's fine. It kind of lets me know that I'm in the right area. So what we're going to do is we are going to hop out, and we're going to use a part of this ship, and I'll show you what that is as soon as I get out the door. It's a little bit harder when you're flying than it is just walking. But up here on top, we've got something called a collector. This is designed so that when something falls into it, it collects it, and then we'll transfer it into the rest of our storage system via the conveyor system. So here is our uranium, and in order to get this into there, I use the gravity generator. But there's a couple of things that I do a little bit differently, and so I'm going to go ahead and show that to you guys. And part of this is a brand new kind of design that I developed just a couple of days ago when I was doing some testing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my grinder, and when you grind down blocks, you get all of the resources back. So here basically these are each built out of steel plates. This one is built from 4. I'll get 4 plates out of it. So you might think that, yeah, there should be some loss, but for right now the game's in alpha still, so currently there is not. And that's good because I'm going to need as much of these steel plates as I can get, or as many as I can get. Now you'll also notice, oops, I almost lost something there. I keep forgetting that now if you have a light attached to something and that something gets destroyed, you lose the construction component that the light was made of. So I want to do that so I get that construction component back. Okay. Also, you have limited inventory space. And you'll notice that these are different colors. The actual core components in your inventory, they're all just steel plates. The color you can change at any time. You don't need a paintbrush or anything. Eventually, at some point, I'll show you how that's done. But for now, if you look over on the left-hand side, you'll see that I have a mass and I have a volume. So some things will have a lot of mass, but not take up a lot of space in your inventory. Inventory is managed much like most games where you can hold more in the game than you ever could in real life. Each server is set up differently as well. This server, we have enabled a ×3 inventory, so everything from yourself to your machines, your storage containers, can hold 3 times as much volume as you normally would be able to. Excuse me. Some servers will have it set to ×1. Others will go all the way up to ×10 or more. So we felt that 3 was fine, and it seems to work out really well. You also have modifiers for how fast you process things and how efficient things are processed. Those are all set to default at 1x. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start using my gravity method. I don't want to say trick. It's not a trick. It's just my method. And I'm going to build a new station. So basically what that means is I'm going to be placing blocks out here in open space. So technically I've made my first station. Yay! Maybe when the game is complete, you'll get an achievement for that. But for right now, this is what we're going to go with. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these blocks onto my hotbar. These are all light armor. There's also heavy armor, which uses a lot more resources. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little frame around this area. It's actually going to be more than small. So let's see. What I want to do is I'm going to find a nice, middle spot here. And that one there I placed a little bit too close, so I'll be pulling it off again in a little bit. In fact, I'll go and I'll pull it off right now so it's not confusing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding in, basically I'm going to be making a funnel. And the purpose for this is so that when I'm working, I don't have to worry about the little pieces of ore being lost, because here in space they will just go flying off into the distance, and you're going to be like, wait, I wanted that. So since I'll be using gravity to collect all of this, it's important to make sure that I guide it where I want it to go. And so in order to turn the blocks, you use the insert, delete, home, end, page up, and page down keys to rotate everything in order to make it fit the way you want it to. It takes some getting used to, but it's quite nice. So now that I've got this together, let's see, how many do I have? I've got 110 steel plates. So now I'll show you how to build. You equip your welder, and as long as you have components in your inventory, then you can add them to the blocks. Now, I realize that some of you guys have already seen some Space Engineers videos, and you may know all this stuff already. When I start out on a new series, I always like to cover the basics for those who don't know. So if you know all of this, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Rather than worrying about all the information you already know, you know, there might be something there that you weren't aware of, or that is just I present in a different way. So you can see here I've already run out of steel plates. So right now the only place I can get steel plates is from my ship, because I would need to process some iron in order to get more. So here, since I'm taking these off, I'm going to be changing the configuration of my ship, and eventually I'll actually tear it down and this ship will disappear. One thing to be aware of is on servers there is a countdown timer for how often you can get a spawn ship. So if you're playing for the first time and you go and you crash your first ship because you didn't turn on your inertial dampeners and you crashed it, well, it could be a couple of hours before you can get another ship. That's why I highly recommend you begin playing in single player before you go onto a server. Because if your timer says you can't get another ship for, 20 minutes or so, then you're either going to wait, or you might just get mad at the game and say, the heck with this. I wanted a fun game. I don't want to sit around and wait. Well, to be honest, you probably should have started in single player, so I'm giving you that as a recommendation. Make sure you start the game in single player if you're not familiar with how it works already. Now, on many servers, ours included, we have increased the default timer, and that was because originally when the game came out, there was no timer, and so people would crash their ship into your base, break your stuff, grab a brand new spawn ship, and then just repeatedly go out and crash into other people's bases. This is known as griefing, and it is not allowed. And so that's one of the reasons why we had to change all of that. Good game, ruined for some people by people being jerks. Humans. So now that we've got this going here, I need to make it a little bit bigger.